The power of silence, the secret weapon to dominate life's biggest games. The hidden treasure, how talking less gives you more power. Imagine your life as a grand library, and you, until now, have been the noisy visitor, the one who speaks loudly, reveals every secret, exposes every intention, and shows your hand in the game. You think you're connecting with others, but in reality, you're giving away your most valuable treasure. Law of power number 4, the most subtle and dangerous of them all, says, always say less than necessary. And the hidden secret behind this law, the secret your monkey brain prevents you from seeing, may be the key that unlocks your path to absolute power. Society has conditioned us to believe that talking is a sign of intelligence, charisma, importance. The more you talk, the smarter you look. But this is an illusion, a lie that keeps you weak. A true master of strategy doesn't speak, he observes. His silence is an enigma, a mysterious aura that makes everyone else around him start talking, exposing, and revealing themselves. Power lies not in what you say, but in what others expose in front of you. Think about a poker game. The amateur who talks too much is the one who loses. He reveals his hand. He reveals his weaknesses. But the master at the table says nothing. He becomes an enigma, and an enigma cannot be defeated. Because fear of the unknown drives people into desperation and unpredictability. The silence of your opponent makes you want to fill the void with your own words, with your own secrets. And that's where true power emerges. The one who talks too much is seen as harmless, predictable, but the one who stays silent is seen as an ocean of possibilities. He might be a genius, a strategist, a threat. Silence elevates your value. It forces others to ask, what is he thinking? And the moment they ask that question, they're already lost in the game. They've already stepped into your control. Silence makes your very presence a strategy of power. Here's your practical action for this first part. It's simple, but it will change how you see your interactions. For the next 24 hours, speak only 50% of what you normally would. In a work meeting, in a conversation with friends, or in any social situation, your mission is to listen more than you speak. Observe people's reactions. Watch how they rush to fill the silence. Feel the power of controlling the narrative without using your voice. If you're ready to become a true master of silence, hit the like button. Comment the word librarian so I'll know you're ready to master this art. And subscribe to the channel, because next, we'll dive into the strategy of scarcity and how it makes you as powerful as an unsolvable riddle. The art of scarcity turns silence into authority. What is rare is valuable. A diamond is precious because it's scarce. A secret is powerful because only a few know it. Your voice, your knowledge, your time, they're valuable too. And law of power number 4, the law of silence, teaches you to create scarcity. The amateur gives away for free what the professional charges for. The amateur talks endlessly about his ideas, his plans, his successes, and his failures. He's an open book, and an open book loses its mystery. It loses its value. Think about the librarian. He doesn't scream out what he knows. He doesn't retell every story in every book. He simply stands guard in his sanctuary of knowledge, surrounded by sacred silence. He becomes the guardian of mystery. His power doesn't come from his voice, but from what his voice refuses to reveal. That silence makes you want what he has. It transforms his presence into something more powerful than all the words in the world. Silence turns you into an enigma, and an enigma cannot be ignored. Scarcity of words creates desire in others. They crave what you know, what you think, what you might reveal. They lean closer, eager to hear your opinion. They feel privileged when you finally decide to speak. Silence doesn't just give you control over the conversation, it gives you control over the people in it. You win not by speaking, but by making others speak and expose themselves. Your strategy is not about winning a conversation, it's about winning the game. The world is crowded with people screaming for attention. They flood social media with noise, interrupt conversations, and fight desperately to be the center of everything. But the true master doesn't fight for attention, he attracts it. His silence is magnetic. It makes him the center of gravity in any environment. People whisper to themselves, "What does he know that I don't?" That single question places you in control of the narrative. The librarian never needs to shout. He never needs to chase validation. He already holds the power, because others project their own desire onto his silence. They assume greatness, wisdom, and danger in what they cannot read. And that's where scarcity transforms into authority. The fewer words you use, the more weight each one carries. A single sentence from you becomes worth more than 1,000 words from someone else. That is the psychology of scarcity in action. Here's your practical action for this part. Practice the discipline of scarce speech. Over the next few days, pick a conversation where you would normally dominate and do the opposite. Speak only when absolutely necessary. Instead of giving a direct answer, ask a question. Instead of revealing everything about yourself, drop only a clue. Create mystery. Let people wonder, and then observe how their behavior shifts around you. Feel the shift in energy as your silence turns into your strongest weapon of influence. The amateur wastes words. The master saves them. And the less you reveal, the more others will chase you for answers, for knowledge, for approval. Scarcity makes you irresistible. If you're ready to embrace your most enigmatic version and attract everything you desire, hit the like button. Comment the word rare so I'll know you're ready to become a treasure to the world. And subscribe to the channel, because next, we'll uncover the strategy of surprise and how it gives you total control over the emotions of others. The shock of surprise. Break patterns and seize control. Silence is your fortress. Scarcity is your value. But what happens when you break your own pattern? When, in the middle of silence that everyone has already grown used to, you suddenly do something completely unexpected. That's the weapon of surprise. Surprise shatters the mind of your opponent. It destabilizes their emotions. And the strategy of a true master is not only about what he avoids doing, but about what he chooses to do at the perfect moment. Think of a poker game. You're the player who, after a long stretch of silence, indifference, and subtle bluffs, suddenly pushes all your chips into the middle of the table. What happens? You break the pattern. You crush expectations. And you break the minds of the other players. The true power of surprise doesn't lie in the action itself, but in the reaction it provokes. It forces others to question everything they thought they knew about you. It makes them doubt themselves. It makes them lose their stability. Silence creates an environment of control. You become the enigma, the observer. And people, in their desperate need to understand you, start building mental patterns. They begin to predict your behavior. They think they know how you'll act. And your most powerful weapon is to destroy that expectation right when it's strongest. It's like a fighter who suddenly moves in an unexpected direction in the middle of a battle. He doesn't need brute force. He only needs the strategy of surprise. The power of silence isn't about being quiet forever. It's about playing silence like music. You control the rhythm, the pauses, the intensity. And surprise, that's your guitar solo. It's the moment where you show you're not a follower of the game. You're its creator. You're not chained to other people's rules. You rewrite the rhythm on your terms, and unpredictability becomes your greatest law. Imagine a meeting where you've been quiet, letting others talk, letting them fall into their own noise. Then, suddenly, you break the silence with a sharp, unexpected question. The room freezes. All eyes turn to you. The power of surprise is not about being loud, it's about being perfectly timed. One unexpected sentence from you can crush hours of noise from others. Here's your practical action for this part. Practice the art of breaking patterns. Over the next few days, in a conversation with friends or during a work meeting, force yourself to do something completely unexpected. After a long silence, suddenly ask a question no one saw coming, or make a comment totally unrelated to the current topic. Don't worry about seeming strange. Instead, feel the shift in energy as you disarm the minds around you. Sense the control you gain over the chaos of the conversation. That chaos is your battlefield, and you're the only one dictating its rhythm. The amateur is predictable. The master is unpredictable. The amateur plays the game everyone knows. The master invents a new one. Silence gives you the stage. Scarcity makes you desirable, but surprise, that's the spark that burns everything people assumed about you. It resets the game in your favor. If you're ready to break patterns and master the art of power, hit the like button. Comment the word surprise so I'll know you're ready to dominate minds. and subscribe to the channel, because next, we'll combine all these lessons into your most powerful weapon yet. The triumph of the enigma. The law of silence that makes you unstoppable. If you've followed me this far, it means your mind is no longer that of an amateur. You've embraced silence as your cloak, scarcity as your virtue, and surprise as your deadliest weapon. But what happens when you unite all of these strategies into one? You become the master of your own narrative. You're no longer just a player in the game, you are the one creating the game. And your mindset transforms into an enigma that no one can decode. Most people fail because they insist on fighting battles on the battlefield others created. They try to compete in noise, in speed, in information. They drown in the endless chatter of the world. But the master strategist doesn't compete. He redefines the rules. His strategy is not about winning, it's about making others lose. He doesn't need to shout to display his power. He moves in silence, observes with patience, strikes with surprise, and lets his presence alone command authority. Think of the librarian. He doesn't scream out what he knows. He doesn't explain every book on his shelves. Instead, he becomes the guardian of mystery. His strength lies not in the stories he tells, but in the ones he withholds. He becomes the center of gravity. In every room, people whisper, "What does he know that I don't?" And that one question grants him total control. Silence makes your mere existence a weapon of influence. The fusion of silence, scarcity, and surprise is not a trick, it's a transformation. It rewires how others see you. It forces them to orbit around you, to adjust their behavior in reaction to your presence. And once you master this fusion, you don't need to prove yourself anymore. You've already won before the game even starts. Here's your final practical action. It is time to create your credo of silence. Take out a notebook, and with cold determination, write down your personal vow to yourself. Something like, "My voice is a treasure. My words are rare. My silence is my strength. I will do what must be done without noise, without hesitation, until my mission is complete." Read this credo every day. Make it your code. This will remind you that you are no longer an amateur. You are no longer trapped in the chaos of constant talking. You are a professional, a master, someone who wields silence as a sword sharper than any blade. Your contract of success has been signed. Your power is now in your hands. The librarian's mindset has transformed you into something unstoppable. The world will no longer see you as just another player. They will see you as the one who created the game. Share this video with someone who still struggles with their addiction to noise and attention. Comment the word master so I'll know you're ready to honor this new identity. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, because the world is about to discover that you are not just another voice in the crowd. You are silence itself, and silence is the most powerful force of all.